The movie immediately begins with aquarium staff shouting a slew of medical buzzwords that make no sense as an octopus is having typical problems. You know, ripping its flesh off, convulsions, all spurred by a heart attack. They need to treat it. But just let it erratically run around? Swim around? The veterinarian gets thrown what looks like an EpiPen and just stabs a fast-moving, unrestrained, 8-legged freak while still in the water? What is her accuracy? A giant CGI octopus pops out of its tank, bitch-slapping the vet before becoming something from the Alien franchise. You got this thing swinging around wildly, why just stare at it? Two workers just gawk at Mr. Tentacles as he casually strolls up to grab one of them and just, crushes him to death. The other guy sees his coworker get vice gripped and just elects to go check on the woman. You're not gonna care about the well-armed threat that is just a few feet away? Nope, he just gets face hugged, and then we get the title card. Existing at the same time as Zombies' Eden Zoo incident, we have Shining Sea Aquarium. This place is so advanced that we have a doctor using microscopes talking about, "I've never seen dolphins do this before." But the place is so eco-friendly that they recycle animals when they die by feeding them to other sea life. You just stated that the dolphin's rate of deterioration was beyond anything you have ever seen. So your first thought is to mad dolphin disease this shit out to wildlife like it's at the chum bucket? The director gets a video call, checking in on them and making sure a medicine the aquarium got from the Eden Wildlife Zoo has been destroyed due to an incident at the other facility. The aquarium responds with, "It's all good." No one seems at all concerned about why she keeps saying to burn it and is just checking in on their safety. But hey, it's cool, man. What could possibly go wrong? This isn't a sin, but aquarium worker Daniel is given a VIP tour to a patron, telling him of the different creatures they house. When they get to the sharks, he says, "You definitely don't want these sharks taking up a tornado." While not a zombie sin, Asylum sure loves referencing themselves. The vet, after awakening from her bitch slapping, frantically walks through an aquarium tunnel while noises from aliens scare her. No one else is anywhere near her in this large-ass fish tank library. She tries calling for help over the walkie-talkie. Two people hear it, but Karen decides to not elaborate on how an animal just tentacled two dudes to death. We then get a senator visiting, revealing that the aquarium does not have adequate animal safety mechanisms.
Oh no!
But the doors are set to auto-lock if a tank is damaged. Why would doors auto-lock for aquatic life? What's a shark gonna do? Flop around? And you're gonna trap people in with an asphyxiating water-bound carnivore? The senator is also apparently both the CEO and president of this aquarium. So why would he not want to bring funding to this place if it directly benefits him? And wouldn't it be a conflict of interest if he works within the government? It just sounds like they slapped together every important sounding bigwig title for the guy that is 100% likely to be sleeping with the fishes, capiche? They get to the octopus crime scene and see the two dudes with a little bit of blood under them. If this was a zombopus attack, wouldn't they be a bit more mangled or at least have some suction cup marks all over their body? There is a weird translucent goo in areas where the reanimated animals have been. Was there just not funding for these
amazing and incredible creatures?
That the best we can get for these zombie sea animals is cum goo and wide eyes and CGI? The evil giant octopus is in the vent. While being processed for recycling, the supposedly dead dolphin reanimates and pulls an Indoraptor, smiling at the camera. The worker just pulls a "it's right in front of me, isn't it?" as he just lets it flop over towards him on the operating table, allowing it to eat him alive while it just flounders on the table. Guess he thought undead dolphins were just clowns of the sea.
Ow! Ow! Hey, what's the gag?
Karen tells the director and CEO editor resident that the octopus is reanimated, not undead, back from the dead, or even a zombie, but just labeled it reanimated. Really trying to do that zombie movie motif where they try everything in their power to avoid using the Z word. Now that this revelation has been made, suddenly all of the animals, well, at least a couple of them across the aquarium, are now zombies and are trying to bust out of their tanks. Is this just like zombies where it just auto-spreads automatically? Was the infected dolphin that wasn't even processed sending out sonar waves to infect sea life? Were they recycling tainted seafood this entire time and nobody noticed? Because alarms go off, the entire facility goes on lockdown. Because why would you have all doors lock automatically in an emergency? Oh, so the zombie creatures can flop more easily towards their prey, so they can't just escape easily. The only way to make contact with the world outside the aquarium is through cell phones, which conveniently nobody there, not a single person, has one on their person, despite this being set in 2016. Daniel, the worker and VIP guy, are outside but cannot leave, and I quote, because
"Don't touch the fence, it's electrified!"
Look, I know this franchise is all about Jurassic Park references, but why would an aquarium need electric fences? What, are the fish gonna stop because water types are weak to electric? The two dudes also apparently just got chased by zombie sea otters, but we never get to see them because why would we? There is a lot of this in this movie where they reference what is chasing them, but we don't get to see them. If you're gonna make a cheesy zombie movie, let us see the cheesy crap. A crocodile is just walking inside the aquarium as the group hide behind a small tank. When the coast is clear, they slowly stand up, they slowly turn around, and then oops, now it's just sitting there.
Menacingly!
This interior zombie gator is barely a threat considering they run a few feet and get through a door without any issue. I cannot wait for it to somehow go get some dry food later on. The two dudes climb up on a ship to find supplies, picking up a fire axe along the way. They see a Labrador-sized spider crab that has been zombified. They sit there screaming at a locked door and then run a few feet away to get ready to fight back against it, only for Danny Boy here to say,
Come get it.
It gets on top of him like a hunter and starts poking the area around his head and neck. If this is some sort of feral shellfish, wouldn't it just be brutally going for the guts? I think that's what they do in nature. The black guy that gives a stereotypical black guy voice is able to hit the crab with the handle of the axe and send the creature flying like a baseball. This is some Looney Tunes ass shit.
Home run! Take that, bitch!
We can obviously see right as the crab is home runned that Dave Grohl here did not take any damage, but just a few seconds later, not even 2 seconds, suddenly bruises and cuts are all over his face that appear out of nowhere. The token black dude suddenly gets baby xenomorphed by another smaller crab and easily throws it off him. So it's that easy to get these things off of you? And hey, the people behind the movie actually put injuries on this guy's face right after the attack. Good job. Now this isn't a sin right here, but the black dude says he wanted armor earlier in the movie, and after getting the crab off his face, says,
"Should've got that armor when I had the chance."
Is that a Left 4 Dead 2 coach reference?
That zombie's got armor. I want armor.
Back inside the aquarium, the main group debates on how to escape the lockdown. The CEO editor resident says they need to smash through the aquarium glass in order to escape the building. You're trying to break reinforced glass with lucite and go through zombie fish infested water? What? Why not just break down a door? What dumbass reasoning is that? The director then says that they cannot break the glass. The CEO dude asks why not, because the fish are doing it right in front of them. The director retorts with that the fish are constantly exposed to hundreds of pounds of water, so that gives them the ability to break the glass that they are constantly contained in.
What?
The only way for the lockdown to end is to get to the central hub and turn it off. Reasoning? Because the camera feeds need to make sure there are no threats behind any locked doors. What kind of shit are you breeding in here if you need to have this kind of lockdown for some chicken of the sea? As they decide what to do, they see a few zombie starfish. Then Karen gets ambushed by one.
Where's the leak, ma'am?
You're overpowered by frickin' starfish? Unless these are Patrick Star Galaxy level, how is she seeing stars like this? Apparently, stomping slow-moving sea pasties was too hard for them as they end up just running. They are chased by nothing at all, and as they slam the door shut, some kind of creature is slamming against the door, making it shake and stuff. But what animal is this? Apparently it's the starfish? How were they able to do this? The doctor has two Zomstars attached to her back, so she takes them off and crushes them. They were already stomping them earlier with these just a minute ago. What stopped them from continuing to do that? She states this.
Have to crush the radial nerve along the ambulacral region, destroying the central nervous systems.
That is a whole lot of science mumbo jumbo just to say to stomp them like Mario at a Goomba orphanarium. Karen says this.
Dead, but not dead.
So the fish no longer need water to live? Sure, understandable, they're zombies. But now the animals are secreting toxins that kill through, and I quote, acute paralysis?
What?
The black-haired girl says maybe this is all happening because they were recycling tainted fish meat.
For real.
They poke and prod at a dead starfish and say some more random ass shit.
Consistent with the onset of marine episodic, similar to SSWS.
It's like they Googled random sea life diseases and had this woman that strolled in for an acting job just spout them off to make it sound like a complicated way of a zombie virus happening. Security guard tells them their room can only be opened for flooding, but not fires. But they can't get to the rooftop because it's the same system as the locked doors. So they need to keep moving in case of flooding. Look man, none of this security system plot device makes sense. And how would an entire room flood? And if that's the case, then why design it where one room can drown people in a lockdown? Dave Grohl pops a squat and says he has lost a lot of blood. That tiny gash on your head, lip, and arm really got you acting down? Dan and the VIP make their way inside and encounter the octopus, really making it 8 tentacles later. It slithers its way to him as he easily whacks it once and it just runs off or something, it just goes off screen. Then the gator from earlier in a recycled walking cycle shows up and has them running off like Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. The aquarium staff plot their way out and see one room has flooded from a busted tank. They start climbing in a small vent like the ceiling scene in Jurassic Park 1. Off screen, they get to another room and scream about crabs as both groups unite. Lucky for them, the CGI spider crabs choose to just sit there and get mauled by Rihanna Keeves. Earlier, these bullet shell crabs punched and sliced this dude up, but now they're just casually walking around him so he can crack them open like a seafood boil. Earlier in the movie, the doctor lady stated that the reanimated sea life do not have blood. Then WTF is coming out of the crabs right here? What happened to the crab cum? Daniel apparently did not destroy the Eden Wildlife Zoo EpiPens as he was instructed, so they were given to animals such as the octopus and dolphin. It's apparently possible to give the exact same medication at the exact same dosage to every form of aquatic life. I guess they were all just an all-purpose medicine. That was my girlfriend's joke, not mine. Don't judge me. More tanks burst, killing the phone line, electricity, and triggering the fire alarm. Thank goodness there were 2 firemen outside this whole time discussing this to let us know what's going on, because a movie should never let it flow organically. We need to be told what's going on every step of the way. A fireman gets in an elevator for a Zomtopus to be stuck to the ceiling. I don't even know how it got there, as it stares at him and randomly swings its tentacles around him. This exact creature slaughtered 2 dudes in seconds, but when in an elevator 1v1 with the fireman, it just kind of flops like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. The group sees a zombie walrus plop its way in slowly. They turn around to get away and see the same damn crocodile doing the same damn walk cycle towards them. Instead of running away, they start doing dissertations about how these 2 creatures are communicating with one another as if they're blind. Dude, is that gonna matter if they walk to you as a still target, talking out loud, and eat you alive? Do aquarium staff just hate living? Okay, if I have any of you in the comments, don't answer that question. The black dude nuts up and goes to axe the walrus, but he just sits there afterwards just to get goo-goo gajibbed. The first person to die in the main group is, of course, the black dude. Everyone just watches him die. These people have no fight or flight instincts whatsoever. I guess they don't know what zombies are in this universe, but a feral fat fuck of the sea with spears for teeth and his little decaying lizard puppy would still mandate your ass running. The remaining people slowly sidewalk away to escape the blind crocodile. Around the corner, they run into the same zombie walrus. Wait, what? Did it brush its teeth of blood, teleport, and get ahead of them? How did this happen? Y'all can easily outrun them in the first place, and they're blind. Please make it make sense. Karen decides to record her voice on a phone and throws it so the walrus will go after it instead. And this works? The blubber boomer didn't hear her talking before and hunt her ass down? No, it just sat there going, oh yeah, you do your thing, you're on the phone, and then she gets to throw it. The gang gets away only to be stopped by the most menacing foe of all, a glass door to the outside. Even though they now have a fire axe to break it down, they decide, nah, we can't break that, nah. Security Sally tells them that they have to go through the basement to escape. They only need to go through one more exhibit. Again, you have a glass door right there. What is it? You don't want to vandalize the place because that would be a felony? They head that way and hear the crocodile snarling up behind them. They go and hide and it just walks off. Wow, there is a lot of pointless screen time here. They could easily just sneak up on these blind things and axe them right in the head, but let the threat possibly come back to literally bite them in the ass. Making their way to an undersea tunnel, they find 2 dead sharks on the floor. Somehow. Don't know how the rest of the tank isn't drained, but okay. They decide, yeah, let's go ahead and tiptoe through them, and it works. They all get past unscathed, except for Karen. Security Sally says she sees the first shark reanimate, screams over the radio. The other girl apparently doesn't see this happening, and then when the radio chimes in saying the shark thing is happening, she can suddenly see it happening and then tells her to watch out. Are you sure that these animals are blind and not y'all? The shark latches onto her ankle like a chihuahua easily enough for them to kill it and get her out of its maw. The other shark is just apparently fully dead and doesn't do a damn thing. For the company that prides itself on Sharknado, y'all really made the zombie sharks the lamest thing in the movie, and that is saying something. I mean, you literally have 2 dead sharks and one of them doesn't do a damn thing. The security person that I've been calling Sally, which I just discovered her name is Clue, when she spots some clear goo dripping onto her from the ceiling, she screams as she is attacked by the octopus, just sitting there and letting it happen like this. The senator's assistant says she does not feel well. She lifts her shirt to discover that an infected starfish has been latched onto her this entire time without noticing. She doesn't notice pain or a faint feeling, and then she just dies immediately. The starfish apparently drank all of her blood because starfishes are now vampires, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was the hypertoxins they were talking about earlier, but man, this movie really forgot to have kills via zombie animals, so they're doing the lamest shit possible. The Zomtopus emerges out of nowhere right after and drags the CEO and their resident off screen while everyone just gawks at him. He is, I don't know, I guess he's either eaten, crushed, gang tentacled, I don't know, because it's off screen. And off screen deaths are stupid, but this movie is full of off screen stuff because I guess the budget just wasn't there. Daniel lifts the axe like he's going to help, but then runs away. It is near the end of the movie, so deaths need to start happening, and we need to kill off the government people because they're bad. They need to get to a breaker box in the basement to unlock the doors, but now it is flooded, and there are apparently sharks and a giant octopus in the water, but there's not really sharks. Clue apparently did not die earlier from the above octopus attack, despite it killing nearly everyone it encountered before. She shows up to valiantly save the day with an axe and says this:
Deep fried calamari.
Before heroically jumping at the octopus, only to fall and be eaten by the octopus. Girl really faked out her own death just to jump in and die like a Scotsman.
I'm coming to rescue the lot of you. Ow! Ugh, I'm bad at this.
Miranda monkey bars across the basement to get to the breaker to turn power back on to the aquarium. Almost shot for shot the same scene from Jurassic Park where Ellie Sattler turns power back on just to find the threat from earlier reappear. The octopus barely jumps at her as she jams a random exposed wire shooting sparks into it, transforming the octopus into a shocktopus and killing it. I guess I was right, electric does beat water types. For some reason, after it's dead, they make the octopus look cute, like an albino deflated Funko Pop. I guess the threat is just gone. They killed one octopus, so the rest of the aquarium just said, they killed the boss. Back it up, boys. We're not zombies anymore. Go back in. Pay no mind to the entire ecosystem being zombified. The gator you couldn't do anything about, or the walrus, those are just kind of still in there. Or there's any number of sharks, dolphins, or God forbid, zombie penguins of Madagascar. The director looks back and begins to cry over the aquarium, despite it looking 100% fine from the outside. The two firefighters show up to take Dave Grohl and the best of him to the hospital when she punches him in the nose. Yeah, half a dozen people died in this building, and we all probably have zombie starfish venom in our veins. But time to leave. We have decided not to endorse this aquarium.
Wow. Wow. Wow.